Animal tissues. Chapter 6. What are animal tissues? Animal tissues are a group of similar cells. Cells which are similar in structure and the cells which are similar in function as well. In animals that work together to perform a specific function. Just like plants, animals also have different tissues that make up their body structure and help in survival. How the tissues make up the body structure? Tissues provide body's structural framework through four basic types: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. These are all different types of tissues, and these tissues they group together and then they form the organs and other body parts. Connective tissues supports and holds parts together, forming structures like bones and cartilage. Epithelial tissues provide protective covering such as the skin, and muscle tissues enable movement while nervous tissues transmit signals. Now, what is a tissue? Tissue is the group of cells which perform a specific function together, and the cells are structurally and functionally same as discussed in the previous slide. Now, tissues are absent from unicellular organisms. Only the multicellular plants and animals have specialized tissues that can organize and regulate an organism's response to its environment. Animal tissues are the tissues which are specific to animals including humans. Now, examples of cell forming tissues includes the muscle cells, myocytes. They group together to form the muscle tissue for movement. Then the nerve cells or the neurons, they form the nervous tissue to transmit signals. Epithelial cells form the epithelial tissue as protective barriers, and different types of blood cells form the blood as a type of connective tissue. So here the different functions of the different tissues has also been mentioned, and this gives the basic structure and function to the body. Types of tissues in animals. Animal tissues can be classified as four types: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. What are epithelial tissues? It is a protective covering of the body and internal organs. So these tissues offer the protective covering over all the internal and the external surfaces of the body. It lines the body cavities also and hollow organs. The surfaces which it is lining can be internal and external, like skin. It is lining the external surface. Airways, digestive tract, urinary system and reproductive system. These are all the internal surfaces. It consists of closely packed cells with very little intercellular space. Hence, it is like a continuous sheet, and it is resting on a thin layer called the basement membrane. What is a basement membrane? It is a membrane, remember, which separates the epithelium from underlying connective tissue. The basement membrane is very thin and it is very delicate layer of extracellular matrix. It lies between epithelial tissue on the top and underlying connective tissue. It provides structural support to epithelial cells as the epithelial cells are resting over this basement membrane. It acts as a selective barrier, controlling the exchange of molecules or substances between epithelium and the connective tissue. One epithelium layer is above the basement membrane and the connective tissues are lying below the basement membrane. It helps in anchoring the epithelial cells to the underlying structure. It also plays important role in the tissue repair and regeneration. In simple words, the basement membrane is like a thin supportive sheet on which the epithelial cells they are resting, and it keeps them attached and nourished as well. What are the functions of the epithelial tissues? It acts as the body's first line of protection because it is the external covering also. So it is the body's first line of protection against any type of physical, chemical and biological damage, injury or wear and tear. It protects the body and the internal organs also from injury, germs and dehydration. Epithelial tissues act like a protective waterproof sheet that locks the water inside the body, preventing it from drying out. In this way, it protects the body from dehydration. It helps in the process of absorption in intestine. It helps in process of secretion in the glands. It also helps in exchange of materials in the lungs and blood capillaries by diffusion, osmosis, filtration, selective absorption and secretion. Epithelial tissues themselves, they lack blood vessels, but they help in the exchange of material between epithelial cells and the vessels of the connective tissues by diffusion across the basement membrane. It helps in the sensation in the skin. How the skin is offering protection, as it is the first line of protection, it covers the external body. The top layer of the skin is called the epidermis. It provides the main protection. The second layer is the dermis, which gives the strength and elasticity as well as the support. It is made up of connective tissues. So skin is mainly formed by combination of epithelial tissue and connective tissue. Types of epithelial tissues. First one is simple squamous epithelium, the structure of which are flat, thin cells like floor tiles. As the floor tiles have very less width and they are completely flat, in the same way their structure also resembles to the structure of the floor tiles. Nucleus is flat and it is centrally located. And where is the location of these simple squamous epithelium? Its location is, it is present in the lining of the blood vessels, air sacs of the lungs, and the cells rest on the basement membrane as already told. The function is same, diffusion, filtration, and forms a delicate lining. In the lungs alveoli, the walls of the alveoli or the air sac where the actual exchange of the gases take place are also lined with simple squamous epithelium. The main function here is to provide a thin barrier. It acts as a very thin layer or barrier for rapid diffusion of gases. Which gases? Oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air and the blood. The oxygen is inhaled and the carbon dioxide is exhaled. Helps in the efficient exchange of gases during breathing. And in the blood vessels, it is known as the endothelium. The inner lining of the blood vessels is also made of simple squamous epithelium called as endothelium. Here the function is to provide smooth, frictionless surface for the easy flow of blood. It also regulates the exchange of materials, nutrients, gases and the waste between the blood and surrounding tissues. It plays a role in controlling the blood pressure and clotting as well. Simple squamous epithelium is also present in the lymph vessels. The lymph vessels are just like the blood vessels and they are also lined up with the simple squamous epithelium, which is called as endothelium, because it is forming the lining of the internal parts of the body. It forms a smooth lining by providing a frictionless surface. That is why there is no wear and tear due to the passage of the substances, and it allows the lymph fluid to flow easily. It has a feature of selective permeability. It allows the exchange of water, small molecules and immune cells between the lymph and surrounding tissues. Now, what are body cavities, which the epithelial tissues are also covering? It is a fluid-filled space within the human body that keeps and protects internal organs, such as the brain. It is present in the cranial cavity, heart, lungs, and digestive organs. These cavities are separated by membranes, and these membranes found within the body cavities are made up of a layer of mesothelium. It is also a type of epithelial cell. Since it is found within the body cavities, hence it's called mesothelium. It is also supported by a thin layer of connective tissues. Thank you.